We don't lose trust during big moments. We lose it between them. And if episode 5 showed us that trust affects how efficiently a municipality operates, this episode answers a different question. Why trust so often feels fragile, even when everyone is working hard. Welcome back to A Blueprint for Building Public Trust. I'm Kent Waugh. This episode is the thesis because everything we've talked about so far hijacked engagement, the silent majority, silence, the cost of low trust, points to one underlying issue, not effort, design. Here's the pattern I see again and again. Engagement spikes. A survey is launched. An open house is scheduled. A project is introduced. Energy builds. Attention increases. And then silence. The project moves forward internally. Decisions continue. Work progresses. But externally, everything goes quiet until the next moment. Another update, another issue, another push. And each time this happens, trust resets slightly lower, not because something went wrong, but because nothing connected. This is the same gap we've been circling since episode 1. The space between decisions. In episode 2, that gap allowed louder voices to dominate. In episode 3, it left the silent majority unreached. In episode 4, it created uncertainty that got filled by speculation. And in episode 5, it showed up as friction, delay, rework, cost. So here's the reframe. Most municipalities don't have a trust problem. They have a continuity problem because most engagement is designed as a campaign, a moment in time, a launch, a push, a closing date. Campaigns are effective for awareness, but they are fragile when it comes to trust because trust isn't built in moments. It's built in patterns, and patterns require continuity. One of the most overlooked parts of trust by design is time. Not time as a constraint, time as requirement, because trust doesn't build at the speed of internal urgency. It builds at the speed of understanding. And those are not the same thing. Inside a municipality, a project like a new city hall can sit on desks for months, even years, and it becomes familiar, understood, obvious. But for residents, it doesn't exist until the moment you introduce it. And when that introduction happens too late, it feels sudden, even if internally it's been discussed for years. This is why so many major projects feel difficult, not because the need isn't real, but because the runway was never built. The story never developed. Over time, awareness was never allowed to accumulate. So when the moment arrives, the organization is ready, but the community isn't. And no amount of last minute communication can replace what wasn't built over time. This is what trust by design means. It means residents don't only hear from you when you need something, they hear from you consistently, predictably, in a way that builds recognition over time. It means engagement isn't isolated, it's connected. Each interaction builds on the last. instead of starting over every time. Continuity does something powerful. It removes surprise. And surprise is one of the fastest ways to create resistance. When residents recognize your voice, understand your context, and see issues develop over time, they don't react the same way. They don't feel like decisions are appearing out of nowhere because they're not encountering them for the first time. This is why trust by design is not a communications tactic. It's a leadership choice because systems don't happen by accident. They require alignment across departments, across priorities, across time. And without that alignment, even good communication feels inconsistent. Most municipalities are working hard, very hard, but the work is fragmented. Different departments communicating in different ways, different timelines, different tones, different priorities. And from the inside, that can feel coordinated. But from the outside, it feels disconnected. And disconnection is what erodes trust. This is where many organizations rely on effort, strong individuals, dedicated teams, moments of excellence. But effort is not scalable and it's not durable because when the moment passes or the person moves on, the consistency disappears. Systems are what remain. Systems create rhythm. They ensure presence even when nothing urgent is happening. They connect communication, engagement, and decision making into something residents can follow. They hold trust between moments. Trust needs something to carry it between decisions, something predictable, something consistent, something designed. Because without that, every moment has to work harder than it should. If this resonates, share it with leaders who feel like their teams are working hard, but trust still feels fragile. In the next episode, we'll take this one step further because even when systems exist, if they're not aligned, residents don't experience them as a system. They experience them as confusion. Trust isn't built through effort alone. It's built through design.